Welcome back to my crafty corner. My name is Jean Bobish and I'm a Fun Stamper's Journey coach. Today I'm going to be working on a fun glittery Christmas card featuring some snowmen, and they are all created using Fun Stamper's Journey products. So I hope you all are having a fabulous Monday. I know I didn't warn you on Facebook that I was going to go live. It's kind of a spur of the moment thing. It is my usual time, yes, but as I had mentioned, I may be just popping on here whenever I get a chance so that I can do my videos and share them with you instead of having a set time. So let me show you. This is the card we're going to make today. You can see how sparkly and shiny it is. Isn't that cute? And it's using this adorable little snowman stamp and a snowflake cutout and some of our glitter tape to create our frame. And actually the snow under the snowman is glittery too. So I'm going to go ahead and put you up in the cheap seats, as I call them. And so excuse my hand in the way there. And I'm going to turn my camera around. There we go, so you can see my work surface. Well, thank you, Sherry. It is a lot of fun. Card making is always fun to me, but this one is a lot of fun just because, and let me show it to you this way again. You can see some more of that sparkle. You see the snow sparkling, and I made some sparkle glitter embossing powder. So there we go. Now I'll show you some of the products we're going to be using, and all of these products are available on my website, funstampersjourney.com/Jean Bobish. So we're going to be using our Snowman Days stamp and die set, and we're going to be using this adorable little couple here, and they do have a matching die. My rubber band stuck on the packaging and I broke it. So anyway, here's the dies that match. Now in our catalog you can purchase these each separately, or if you would like both pieces, simply order the bundle and you get them at a reduced price. We're going to be using my all-time favorite die that Fun Stamper's Journey has ever made, and that is the Snapshot Frame set. Now, I'm going to tell you, the first person that places a $50 or more order with me tonight will receive this Snapshot Frames die set absolutely free. The first person to place that order will get it free. So if you want it, rush on over there and order it. Now this is the Journey Blooms holiday set, and this actually complements the Snapshot Frame set. We're going to be using this snowflake die. And this is our Snowburst set. We're going to be using the Let It Snow sentiment. And last but not least, we're going to be using our Cloud Dreams die set. Now you're going to say, looking at this card, what the heck? Where did she use clouds? There's no clouds on that card. Well, that's a little secret that I'm going to share with you. And I think you're going to be surprised. Now the other thing we're going to be using is, of course, our Color Burst pencils. Colored pencils, which are up here on my shelf. This is what they look like. If you do not have them, don't panic. You can use anything you want. To show you, I did one. These, I used my Spectrum Noir markers, and they turned out really cute. This one, I used the Sakura gel pens, the glitter ones, and then I used Wink of Stella on my snowman. So if you don't have these, not to worry. You can still make this adorable card. And we're going to use our Christmas cheer prints, and we're going to use this pretty black and white snowflake paper. The other thing we're going to use is our white liner sheets, and that's going to be a little hint to our clouds. Okay, so let me move everything out of the way, and we're going to start with a base card of whipped cream. And this is just an 8.5 by 11 sheet cut in half, and I'm going to fold it in half, and that's going to make our base card. I'm going to use my crease tool, give that a good, nice, sharp crease. And then I'm going to take our piece of snowflake paper, and on the back it says fa la 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 la. But we're going to use the snowflake because I wanted it to look like a night sky with the little snowflakes falling. And this we can actually go ahead and attach because we're not going to wrap anything around our mats. I have no ribbons or threads or anything. So I'm going to go ahead and center this on our base card like so. And I used our Easy Glide adhesive to do that. Now, if anyone is commenting, I'm sorry right now I cannot see them, but I will respond to them when I am all done. Now, the next thing, I went ahead and used my snapshot frame die, which is this one right here, and I cut it out of Cranberry Bliss cardstock. And it kind of looks like an old-fashioned Polaroid. And that's just one of the reasons I just so love this die, because you can use it for so many different holidays. It has love and a heart for Valentine's Day, fall and a leaf for all of fall, a boo and a bat for Halloween, and joy and holly for Christmas. Now, you can simply put any one of these die cuts and the word, and you could do it for a scrapbook page or any card of your liking. Put your child's photo, grandchild's photo, or whatever, and the little holly leaves and joy. And I mean, it's just a fabulous set. And if you want to get it free, be the first person to place a $50 order at funsnappersjourney.com/Jeanne Bobish. Now, if you notice, this is all pretty and sparkly around here. So what I'm going to do is take our candy apple tape, and it comes, you get these 3 different tapes in this set. Candy stripes. This is going to be all hearts, so that's going to be fabulous for Valentine's Day. And then, of course, the beautiful sparkly red. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay it here and make it nice and even with the bottom of my frame. And then I'm just going to wrap it around to the back, like so. Now, these areas are slightly narrower. So what I'm going to do is cut this straight. And I'm going to go ahead and line it up with this bottom piece of tape. And I'm going to run it across this edge, even with my die. And then I'm going to trim it, even with the top, and turn it over and just trim this along this edge using our detail scissors, which are absolutely fabulous because they are Teflon coated and they are non-stick. So you don't have to worry about this washi tape sticking and getting stuck all over your scissors. Now I'm going to do the same thing on this side. And I'm saving the little pieces I cut off because they could be used for little stripes or something on another project. So I never waste anything. Sometimes I think I'm too cheap for my own good, but hey, waste not, want not, as they say. So let's just trim this. And if you wanted to, if you didn't want to do with your scissors, you could simply fold it over to the back. That works just as well. So either way, whichever is easier for you. And we're just going to do the same thing across the top. So if I could get it lined up with the bottom edge. Let's see. There we go. That looks good. And I'm going to trim it even with the side piece. And then, just for time and ease, I'm just going to fold that over. Whoops. Okay. So there we go. There is our gorgeous, sparkly frame. Now the next thing we're going to do is I'm going to take my Pan Pastel colorless blender and a little sponge. And all I'm going to do is take some and just wipe it along where I'm going to be embossing. I got some on my tape. I didn't really want to do that. So I'm going to try something and see if it works. I'm taking a piece of repositionable Scotch tape, and I'm going to lay it. I'm going to lay it just across there for now. Should have done that at first, but I didn't. Okay, so this is the same as using the Emboss Buddy. It's just preventing the static so that our embossing powder will stick where we want it to stick. So I'm going to grab a block. And I want to get that nice and straight. And we're going to be doing this with a mixture of white embossing powder and our sparkle dust. And what I did was I put a little white embossing powder in here and then a little of our sparkle dust. So kind of is going to make a glittery embossing powder. And I'm going to grab my media tray and my clear pigment ink. And I'm using the Let It Snow stamp from our Snow Burst set. And I'm going to ink that up really, really good. And I'm going to place it, excuse my head if it gets in the way, but I'm going to kind of try to center it here in the lower right corner. And there, it looks beautiful. And I will pour this over. Get off any excess. And then I'm going to take my heat gun. I'll remove my tape. And I'm going to throw that away because it might have some glitter on it. I'm going to take my heat gun. I'm going to heat this up. And as you can see, it's going to turn white because it has the white embossing powder in there, but it's still going to sparkle because it's got some of the glitter. And there we go. Now, if you're worried about all this powder showing, all you have to do is just take an eraser, any old eraser. This pencil eraser is pretty much worn down. So I'm going to grab a block eraser and I'm just going to very lightly go over my paper, and it will pick up any of that leftover chalk. And bring your paper back to the bright red color. Okay? Now, I didn't do too good with my embossing. It got a little messy there, but that's okay. It's still legible, and I'm going to go with it. All right, so now I'm going to do another little trick to show you. I have a piece of whipped cream cardstock, and I have a piece of our white liner sheet. And I cut it so that it'll fit on that paper. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to peel off this backing using my bloom tool. And once I get that peeled off, and that's the wrong piece that's coming off of there, bear with me here. Okay, there we go. Now it's going to be all sticky on this side. And I'm going to lay it across my paper like so. I have some excess. I'm just going to cut that off. And see, it does not stick to my scissors at all. Get rid of that. Now, our cloud. I'm going to choose one of the cloud dies that fits in our frame, and that is going to be our snow. Isn't that cool? And it has that light little lumps that kind of look like little hills or mounds of snow. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to place this die because I don't want the whole thing covered with sparkle, because then sometimes it's hard to glue it down. So I'm going to take the die and I'm going to run it through my Amaze machine. As soon as I move everything here out of the way, I'm done with my pigment ink, so I can put that away. And I'm going to go ahead and run that through. And I'm going to pop this out. And the next thing I'm going to do is you can save this little scrap because you never know when you might want a nice stripe or something. And of glitter, excuse me, or whatever. So let's get rid of that. Now, since I didn't clean out my media tray, I'm going to have to just grab a piece of scrap paper here. And I'm going to fold it in half. And I'm going to grab my sparkle dust. I have a little container with some extra in it. And I'm going to go ahead and peel off the other layer of our white liner sheet. And now it's very sticky. So I'm going to take our glitter and sprinkle it on there. And I'm going to take my finger and kind of burnish it into that sticky paper. Okay. And tap off any of the excess. And now I'm going to have glitter from all over the place. So I'm just going to tap off, wipe off any of that excess. And there you can see how we have nice glittery snow. And a glittery desktop and glittery fingers. And so I'm just going to scoop this back in my container. Because you don't want to waste it. And I'm going to go ahead and put that back up on my shelf. Now, I'm going to decide where I want this positioned in my frame. And see how that makes such beautiful, pretty glittered snow. And I'm going to use some of our craft glue because I want this to stick. And because we have the unglittered section, there's a good chance that it will at least adhere down there. So I'm going to place that just like so. And with the liquid glue, you have a little bit of room to play. And you probably can't see it real well now, but when you lay it against here, look how pretty. Now I also cut out this snowflake out of whipped cream cardstock, and we're going to use our small foam squares. But before I do that, I'm going to want to apply this to my card. So for the narrow sections of this frame, I'm going to place our white liner tape because it fits in there just perfect. It's the perfect size. I'm going to clip off that extra. And it should hold this down really securely on your card so you're not going to lose it. It's not going to come falling off. Just burnish it down really well. And again, I'm going to do the same thing down this side. And I'm going to go further down on here. And then we can put a few pieces across here if you want, to make sure that our cloud is going to be good in our cloud. Well, it is a cloud, but our snowbank, our faux snow bank. All right. Okay. Now, this is why I love this bloom tool, because you can burnish this tape down with this dental pick. And our bloom tool comes with 7 different attachments, one of which is this dental pick, which is absolutely perfect for burnishing your tape and removing the backing in an easy peasy kind of way. So let's get that one out of there. Now this will stick. Pull that up, and again the same with these others. And I'm going to throw these away and get them out of our way. Now you always want to make sure that your card is going in the right direction before you glue anything down. And I kind of want to do this a little crooked. I don't want it to be perfectly straight. So I'm going to go ahead and press that in place. Now I can take my snowflake, and it's going to go right there on the bottom. And we're going to use some of our little foam squares, and I'm just going to place them in this wide area. I'm going to let the little arms, or whatever you want to call them, just kind of float. Whoops. If I can pick it up. Well, I got 4 on there. I'm notorious for using tons. You could probably use one medium one, but I'm notorious for using many. So I'm going to position this right about here. And I think it looks gorgeous so far. I love, love, love this red glitter. It just really, really sets it off. Now, if you wanted to, you could glitter this whole bottom section and then just put a little tag with your greeting on it if you wanted to. But now we're, excuse me, going to move on to some coloring. So I've already stamped our little snow couple on here using black licorice and all my products. And this is the couple that I used. And now we're going to go ahead and color them using our Color Burst colored pencils. So what I'm going to try and do for you guys, see if I can zoom in so that you can see. There we go. Get it somewhere so you can see what I'm doing. And I'm going to just take that here temporarily so I don't go out of my line of vision so you guys can see. And we're going to start with our snowman, and we're going to shade them with number 45. And as usual, I don't have these in the right order, which makes it really hard. So basically, I'm just going to come along here and just very lightly add this little bit of gray, just to give them a little bit of shading, like under his hat. Okay, nothing heavy, very light, but you can already see the little difference it makes. Now, she's in front of him, so he would be shaded here. And we're going to go under his vest. And like I said, if you don't have these pencils, use what you have. Go ahead and use whatever you have. If you have Sharpies, use Sharpies. If you have another brand of colored pencils, use them. Don't be afraid to use what you have. Okay, and I'm going to do along her little face. I'm assuming she's the little girl. Just very lightly. I'm sorry the lights are causing a little bit of shadow. Now, normally if this wasn't going to be cut out, I would do something down here so they don't look like they're floating in air. But since they're going to be cut out and placed on the snow, I'm not too concerned about it. So there we go. I think that looks pretty good. Now the next thing I'm going to do is their carrots, and they are going to be number 11. And I'm just going to color them very lightly. I'm trying to do this so you can see. Hopefully you can see it. Okay, and then I'm going to take number 13, which is this little bit darker orange, and I'm going to shade them. So I'm just going to go where they're going to go against the face and kind of underneath, and just do them a little bit darker. I'm trying not to move my paper, so I have to move myself here to get the right angles. And just kind of blend it so that that lighter color just kind of makes a little highlight on the top of their noses. All right, the man's hat is going to be number 42. 44, let me find it here. 42, which is kind of a black color. So I'm just going to start, and I want to leave a highlight, so I'm not going to color all the way. I'm just going to kind of leave a little bit of a glow there. And if you want it to be a darker hat, just press a little darker or a little harder. And then I'm going to do the same with the top of his hat. And I want to get the highlight in there first. Okay, that looks good. And just go darker on the rest so it looks like a black hat. Be careful of your holly. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. I'm happy with it. All right, now the broomstick and the arms, I'm going to do number 41, which is this darker brown color. I'm not used to using dull. I really like sharp points on my pencils, especially when we're getting in these tiny little areas. Okay, and if you want, you can do some dark spots and some lighter spots. Kind of shows like there's some grain in the wood, but it's not necessary. Okay. The holly is going to be number 22. And this one I'm definitely going to need to sharpen. Now, if you notice, I have 3 of these sharpeners. I have one for our Color Burst pencils, one for our Color Splash pencils, and one for my Prismacolor pencils. I have them dedicated, and I have one for each brand. And I'm going to very carefully try and get this, there we go, to a nice sharp point. And I'm going to go ahead and do my holly. Now, a lot of this is going to have no shading or highlighting. It's just a matter of coloring them in, because they're so stinking tiny. And actually, I think I missed a spot here with my black, so I want to go back in there and fix that. There we go, that's better. Looked like I had a 4th berry. All right. And the berry are going to be number 3. And all I'm going to do is just color those little guys in like so. All right, now her hat and scarf, the red sections are going to be 3. So again, I want to put a little sharper point on this so that I can get in these tiny little areas. Like so. And then I'm going to go a little bit darker right at the bottom there. And I'm going to do the same thing on this stripe. Go very lightly. And then on the 2 outer edges, I'm going to go a little darker. Now, it's not going to show much, but it makes a little bit of a difference. Now, of course, if you're using gel pens or markers, you're not going to have room to do any of highlighting and shading at all, unless you have something with a really fine point or nib on it. So basically, we're just, for for the most part, color book coloring these, because there's not a lot we can do in these tiny little spaces. And really, why cause ourselves all that added aggravation when they look just as cute? Okay, now I'm going to do every other stripe on the scarf. Dark red. You kind of get googly-eyed with these little stripes. And then the same thing on this part of the scarf. Like I said, I'm doing this a little darker than I originally did on the first one, and I'm liking it much better. It doesn't look quite so faded, if you will. And then again, I'm going to do every other one on here. His buttons are red. The bottom trim on his sweater is red, if indeed that's a sweater. We'll call it his garment. And you can see I'm adding pressure and making those a little darker too. And then his glove. Okay. I'm going to go back and darken these up also. And just make the whole pom-pom dark instead of trying to shade and highlight in such a tiny, tiny area. Okay. And I like the boldness of the colors too. All right. His coat is going to be number 21. Which is, whoops, this flying green. And again, I'm going to try and get a nice sharp point on here so that I can get in all these tiny little places. And he looks really Christmassy. She looks really Christmassy with the red and green colors. And then every uncolored stripe will now be green. Same here. Don't color in those stars because we're going to do those yellow. Okay, and her garment will also be green. So just color that in. I don't know about you guys, but I love to color. I find it so relaxing, so much fun when it goes the way I want it to go. Okay. And her stars are going to be number 16. And they are really tiny, so let's get a better point on these. And really, about the most you can do on them is just do a little circle to color them in. And then I'm going to add some of this just to my broom. Lightly. Because we're going to be doing some different colors, but while I have it out, I might as well go over that. All right, so she's pretty much done. Now, I'm oh wow, I'm going to use number 37 as the other color for my brim. So we're going to take 37 and I'm just going to randomly add some streaks just to give it kind of a two-tone look. All right. Now, we're going to do him in blue. So I'm going to start with number 33, 32, 30, and of course they're all out of order here. 31. Okay. 33. Got it. This is going to be the darker color, and we're going to do our dots on his scarf. And again, it helps to have a really nice sharp point to do them. Because again, they're very tiny. Very teeny tiny. And if you want to do the fringe, you can do that the same color. And the little stitches that are holding his vest shut. All right, and now we're going to do, his vest is going to be number 30. Okay, let me find that. Number 30, there it is. And we're going to do every other check, number 30. And again, I'm doing these pretty dark. Just make sure that you're doing every other one, because we don't want two of the same color side by side. Okay, so this would be this one here. Kind of pick the one that's on an angle to the previous one diagonally. Okay, so this one here, and this one down here. All right. If you need to go back and go over them, that's fine. All right, I like that. Now I need number 25. And that's going to be for his hat band. And the remainder of the checks on his vest. So it's just a matter of filling them in. There we go. And I think they look pretty good. All right. I think they are done. So we can put away our colored pencils. And we can take our coordinating die and place it on top of these guys. And using non-position or repositionable tape. Don't use regular Scotch tape by any means. Bring our die cut machine. Oh, let me bring you guys back out. Oh my, you get a really close-up shot of my amaze there, don't you? Whoops, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Come on. There we go. Okay. So I'm going to place these here and run them through. Pop them out. And then we're going to place them right here on our card. So I'm going to use liquid glue simply because of all these little extensions and because of the glitter. I think the liquid glue is much better. So I'm going to set them so that they're both on the snow. And I'm just going to hold them in place. Or if you don't want to hold them, you can place one of your stamp blocks on top of them. And that works awesome, let me tell you. Especially when you want to move on to something else, you can just simply place that there and go about your business. While they take a few seconds to attach. Meanwhile, I'm cleaning up a little bit of my mess here. I'm going to put my dies away before I lose them, because I am infamous for that. So, I can remove my block, and there we have it. Absolutely adorable, cute, and sparkly. And this is the original, and I really like the darker colors better. That's just my opinion. But like I said, you can do them however you want with whatever you want. And I'm sure they will look just as adorable. So let me bring you guys back down. Turn the camera around. Whoops. Goodness gracious. Oh my goodness. Hold on there, folks. Thank goodness you're in my hand and not in the holder. Okay, there we go. Now, let's see if we have any comments. Thank you, Marilyn. Thank you both for joining me. I really appreciate it. If you guys have any comments or questions, you can certainly post them below, and I always get notifications. Thanks, Marilyn. Yeah, I like the darker colors too. They're not showing up too good with my lighting here, but yeah, I like the darker colors too. And it's quicker and easier to color if you're not real good at coloring. So, anyway, I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions or comments, please post them below. I will have a complete list on my blog, which will also be posted below. And it will show all the products that I use to create this card. The other thing is, remember, the first person to place a $50 order with me will receive this Snapshot Frames die set absolutely free. So, get over to my website, funstampersjourney.com/Jeanne Bobish, and place your order now so that you can take advantage of that great free offer. $50 goes quick, so check it out. So I hope you all enjoyed the card. I hope you have a great evening, and I will see you all next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.